All right, today we're talking about something pretty interesting, the tablet and the black box. It's a story about a device that promises total focus, but ends up delivering a really fascinating puzzle. So just imagine for a sec a piece of tech that's built to do one thing, and one thing only, to help you think. No notifications buzzing, no social media feeds, just this clean digital slate for your ideas. In a world that is just so full of digital noise, that's a really powerful promise, right? But what happens when the device that's supposed to get out of your way becomes the puzzle itself? And what if, to get that perfect experience, to truly make it yours, you actually have to crack it open and start tinkering? Well, that's the journey we're going to explore today. Okay, so the device at the center of all this is the remarkable 2 tablet. Now, it's marketed as this perfect digital notebook. The idea is it completely replaces all your paper notebooks. It's designed to be the absolute best tool for writing and reading, totally free from all the stuff that usually distracts you on a modern tablet. And you know what? By all accounts, it totally nails its main job. People who use it just rave about the experience. The stylus, it just glides across the screen with this perfect amount of friction. And the lag is so low, it literally feels like you're watching ink dry on a page. For just sitting down and doing some focused writing, it's an absolutely fantastic tool. But, and there's always a but, isn't there? This is where our story really kicks off. What happens when you, the user, have a really specific need, a need that this beautifully simple device just can't meet right out of the box? We're going to look at one user in particular, a musician, whose goal was to turn this thing into the perfect sheet music reader for their choir performances. And almost immediately, they just hit a brick wall. The software that came with it was missing these absolutely crucial features. Like, you couldn't crop pages individually. There was no half-page turn to see what music was coming up next, which is a huge deal for a musician. And get this, you had to use this clumsy swipe gesture to turn pages, which is just not reliable in the middle of a performance. On top of all that, you couldn't organize your music library by composer or create setlists for a concert. These aren't just little nice-to-haves. For a performer, they're total deal breakers. So this creates a pretty massive divide, right? On one side, you've got the official software, which is fine. It's a basic but pretty good note-taker. But on the other side, you have the user's actual goal, a powerful, performance-ready sheet music machine. And the gap between those two things, it just seemed huge. But then something really unexpected happens. The company, Remarkable, did something most tech companies would never do. Tucked away in the settings menu, they actually give you the instructions on how to get complete admin access to the device's entire operating system. It's like they're handing you the keys to the kingdom. So this is what's known as root access. Basically, it's the highest level of permission you can possibly get on a system. It means you can go way beyond the normal user interface and change literally anything you want about how the device works, from its core functions all the way to the software it runs. And when a company allows that, it gives birth to something truly wonderful, a homebrew community. This is this incredibly passionate group of hobbyists and developers who start creating their own software, their own modifications. They're building the features the device is missing and pushing it way beyond what it was originally designed to do. Okay, but here's the catch. This open door leads straight into a really complex puzzle, because even though the company allows this access, they don't really support it. And that creates this very delicate and often super frustrating relationship between the homebrew community and the tablet's official closed-off software. And right at the heart of this puzzle is this one single application. It's called Sochal. Now, this is the main program that runs the entire Remarkable experience. It's what you see and interact with. But it's also closed source, it's proprietary, and, this is the important part, it holds all the secrets to how you actually draw things on that special e-paper display. And that creates the core problem. Because the community doesn't have any official guides on how to draw to the screen, they're forced to basically treat this Sochal application like a black box. Their custom software has to poke and prod at it, trying to reverse engineer it just to figure out how to work. And this sets up this really fragile, frustrating cycle. So, Step 1. A homebrew app wants to draw something on the screen. To do that, it uses a community-made tool. Now here's the trick. That tool works by borrowing little pieces of code from the official Sochal app. But then, Remarkable pushes a software update. The official app changes, the code they borrowed no longer works, and poof, the entire ecosystem of custom software just breaks overnight. Yeah, as one of the developers put it, every single time the official software gets upgraded, the community tools just stop working. And they stay broken until some dedicated volunteer dives back in to figure out exactly what changed. It's this constant, exhausting game of cat and mouse, breaking and fixing, over and over again. So this leads the community down a path that's really about more than just adding cool new features. It becomes this bigger mission, a quest for what you might call true digital ownership. It's about freeing the device from its dependence on that central proprietary black box. So, what's the solution? How does the community finally break free from this endless cycle? Well, the ultimate goal, the holy grail, is to stop borrowing code altogether and just build their own from the ground up. By completely reverse engineering how the hardware works, they could create their very own open source display driver, one that won't just break every time the company issues an update. It's really the only way to get true software freedom on the device. And believe me, this isn't a new fight. You can see the community's persistence right here. They started with these temporary fixes, these compatibility layers. Then a more permanent solution was attempted back in 2022, but it kind of stalled out. And just recently, a brand new, very promising effort has popped up. The quest is long, it's difficult, and it's driven entirely by volunteers in their spare time. And this brings us right back to that musician we were talking about. For them, and for so many others, the real value of this device is completely unlocked by this hacking community. I mean, without their tireless work, reverse engineering, building tools, creating custom software, the device just wouldn't be worth it. As the user said, they would have definitely regretted the purchase without them. So it leaves us with this really big question that goes way beyond just this one tablet. In an age where all of our devices are controlled by software, we can't see, we can't touch, we can't modify, what does it really mean to own something? This whole story shows that for some people, true ownership isn't something you can just buy off a shelf. It's something you have to build for yourself.